Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal and you are watching the Mojo Story. Savukku Shankar, the CEO of Savukku Media, has alleged that a gang posing as sanitation workers barged into his home in Chennai and they threw sewage inside his home. Now you can see from those visuals, that's the scene at his home. They seem to have vandalized everything and thrown sewage. They later threatened him over a video call, all the time while his mother was alone in the home. Now, he said that despite informing the police, he claimed that only a sub inspector and a constable arrived while the attackers staged a protest just outside the his home. To get a sense what exactly happened, we are in fact joined by Savukku Shankar. Welcome to Mojo Story, Ms. Savukku Shankar. Can you walk us through exactly what happened when this gang entered your home? We've seen the CCTV footage, but we want to get a better understanding what happened.
Good evening, Mr. Iqbal. I am a YouTuber and a journalist doing stories for more than 10 years. Day before yesterday, when I was leaving for office, I saw two buses parked in the lane where I am residing. I was very surprised to see those two buses because the buses don't have any work there in my lane. Suddenly, after my vehicle crossed around 100 meters, people started pelting stones on my vehicle. So I immediately called my mom. Then I sensed that this is I am the target of this mob. So I called my mom and asked her not to open the door. Even by that time, people have started banging the door, and my mom said, "People are banging the door, and I am scared." She said. So I cut the call and immediately rang up the police control room and lodged a complaint that people are attacking my house. After I tried to contact many of the senior police officials, all of them promised that help is on the way. But after around 30 to 40 minutes, the police reached the spot. By this time, after 10 minutes, when I called back my mom said people have entered the house. They have broken open the back door. And while she was speaking, the mob from the mob snapped hand. And he came on a video call to me and he just showed me, see how we are vandalizing your house. We are going to teach a lesson. Had you been available in this house, we would have burnt you, they said. And the video call continued for a few minutes. And they were displaying what sort of vandalism they are indulging inside my house. And after that, I cut the call and again tried to contact the police and pleaded with them to reach my home immediately. But they reached the spot only after around 40 minutes. And even after reaching my house, the police instructed me not to come near my house till they gave the clearance. After 3 hours, they gave the clearance that you can come now. I went back, saw my mom, who she was traumatized, very much, and I saw sewage and fecal materials thrown across my house, in the bed, in the kitchen, the vessels, in the dining table. Everywhere they have thrown fecal materials. And after that, in the evening, my mom launched a police complaint.
So what you're telling us, essentially, first they targeted your vehicle. Then you got a sense that they will target your home. You informed your mother. But
Yes.
the mobs had already reached there and they started vandalizing your house. And what you're also telling us that they did a video call with you and they told you that if you would have been there, they would have burnt you. That's what you said.
That's correct, Mr. Iqbal.
But so it is there, they were not hiding anything. They were clear about it. They called you and they said that this is what we are doing and you are not here. Otherwise, we would have just burnt you down. That's what they
That's
were
correct,
so
Mr.
brazen.
Iqbal.
They're so brazen and so clear about it. How can they be so brazen? What's the reason? What do you think that they will be so open about breaking the law, doing this vandalism, and threatening you with your life?
Mr. Iqbal, they were so brazen and they had the audacity to commit such vandalism in my house is because the entire police department were in their support. In fact, the police very well knew about this vandalism about to take place at my house. And the thing is, Mr. Iqbal, I went to this house only about 3 months back, and including my friends, no one knew about the location of my house, and it is very difficult to find because it is located in a small lane. So I, after subsequently after this incident, I came to know that it is only the police which gave the location of my house and directed them where to go. That is the reason why even after 40 minutes, the normal response of the control room is not more than 10 minutes because they have multiple petrol vehicles. But the petrol vehicle reached my house only after about 40 minutes. And even after 40 minutes, for clearing the crowd, they took around 3 hours. And Mr. Iqbal, in the evening on the same day of the incident, we filed a complaint. The police did not take any action. And in fact, the perpetrators, the mob, went to the police station, reported of that they went to my house and everything. And the police did not bother to arrest any of them. They had this audacity to do this and go on Facebook Live about the whole incident is only due to the support of the police, Mr. Iqbal.
So, what is clear is that you're saying that it was a premeditated attack, but who orchestrated you? You're hinting that police was did nothing. In fact, police is the one they uh, told them about the location of your house. That's what you're telling.
Yes, Mr. Iqbal, except the police, nobody else knew the location of my house, Mr. Iqbal.
But how would you describe this police response? Why would police do this deliberate inaction and, according to you, uh, tell them the location of your house?
Mr. Equal, around 2 months, 3 months back in December 2024, I broke a huge scam involving scavengers. The Tamil Nadu government introduced a scheme for providing sewage cleaning machines to scavenger community people. During my investigation, I found that instead of scavenging community people, many binamis of more than 150 binamis of politicians were actually the beneficiaries, and it is not the scavengers who are the real beneficiaries of the scheme. The main orchestrator of the scam is one Mr. Selva Perundagai, who is the president of the Tamil Nadu Congress Committee. Mr. Selva Perundagai is very influential person. He is an ally of the ruling DMK government here, and he is very close with the many police officials, and particularly Chennai City Police Commissioner Mr. Arun is a close friend of Mr. Selva Perundagai. This is the reason why Mr. Selva Perundagai orchestrated this attack on my house, and the police helped him. Is what I came to understand, Mr. Iqbal.
So you are a journalist, you broke a story, you did an investigation, and according to you, this is the result of that investigative report that you did, that you have been targeted. But I want to understand that reports also say that after they targeted your house, after they vandalized your house, they sort of protested outside your house. How is that? If they have vandalized your house, they targeted your house, what do they wanted to prove by protesting outside your house?
Mr. Iqbal, the reason why they were allowed to protest outside my house for more than 3 hours is that to teach me a lesson and to restrain me or to scare me from doing any sort of stories or pursuing this story again. This whole attack on my house and throwing sewage and fecal materials inside my house is to teach me a lesson so that I'll never dare to do any such stories in the future. This is a straight attempt to shut down my media or stop me from doing the journalism, what I understand, Mr. Iqbal.
And is it the first time that you received such threats and you have come under an attack? Or it's happened in the past also? There have been prior threats and warnings to indicate that this attack might happen?
Mr. Iqbal, I have been very vocal in my criticism against the ruling DMK government ever since this government took charge. And during the past 1 year, twice I was detained under the Preventive Detention Act, that is a Gundas Act. I was detained under this act. And thankfully, Honorable Supreme Court, both the times the Supreme Court intervened and ensured that the illegal preventive detention against me was quashed. And for one YouTube interview, the Tamil Nadu police filed 17 FIRs against me. I spent 6 months in prison. I was taken from Chennai to Kanyakumari, which is around 800 kilometers away. Even after that, I have been slapped with multiple cases. Those were all indications to me to stop my journalism. After they failed in their attempt to stop me through legal cases and false cases, now they have resorted to hooliganism and Gudaism. This is a straight threat to my life, and the message they want to convey to me is: we tried to contain you legally, you didn't stop. Now we have gone down to this level. and your life is at stake. Please understand. Please stop. If you don't stop, there will be further consequences, is the message they want to convey, Mr. Iqbal.
So you are essentially blaming the DMK for being a critic of the DMK for whatever happened. And do you also feel that there's a breakdown of law and order in that state? And this is a clear example of that?
Mr. Iqbal, leave my case alone. The opposition parties have been continuously charging this government that there is a breakage in the law and order, because most of the in the past 2 months alone, three activists who declared that their life is under threat have been murdered, and one of the activists, one Mr. Zakir Hussain, who has been fighting to claim a property belonging to Waqf board, released a video saying that my life is under threat. I'll be murdered anytime. After this video released, the next day by morning 5 a.m., 5:45, after he completed his morning prayer, he was murdered. Like this, there are several murders happening in broad daylight, and the state government is not able to contain these murders, and a sense of fear is prevailing among the people, and particularly against among activists. So we can, without hesitation, we can say that there is a breakdown of law and order in this state.
And how has police responded? Has an FIR been filed? Has any concrete action been taken against the attackers? What has been done on that count?
Mr. Iqbal, on the same day, that is on 24th of March evening, my mother gave a complaint. We gave the complaint to the police station, jurisdictional police station. The police gave us a receipt for an acknowledgement for receiving the complaint. The next day, the police transferred the investigation to the CBCID, and the CBCID registered an FIR. Yesterday evening, they arrested 5 people for indulging in this incident, and within hours of their arrest, the magistrate released them on bail. When I inquired why they were released on bail, I was told that the Crime Branch CID has filed the FIR in under sections which are clearly bailable. They should have included the sections for rioting, housebreaking, and committing and issuing criminal intimidation. None of these sections which are non-bailable have been included in this FIR. As I have told you earlier, it is only with the help of police when this vandalism has been orchestrated. I don't think the police will hold a good investigation or fair investigation. My only resort is to approach the courts to transfer the investigation to some other agency which is not under the control of the Tamil Nadu government.
So what you're telling us is that you don't believe in the inquiry, police investigation. You want some other body to do this investigation. Then only you'll be satisfied with the way the investigation is carried out. But some of the critics would argue that maybe your videos, your presentations have been provocative or inflammatory. How do you respond to that?
Mr. Iqbal, you are also a journalist. A journalist's job is to provoke the ruling government. We have to do stories which creates an impact among the ruling government or people who have authority. And there is provisions in law to file a case against me if the case is if my story is wrong or factually incorrect. But indulging in such vandalism and slapping people under Gunda's Detention Act is not the answer to this. A journalist's job is to provoke the government and correct the government so that they take the proper course of action.
Right. You spoke about journalism, but does this attack now instill a sense of fear? Do you reconsider your approach towards journalism and towards online commentary?
Mr. Iqbal, apart from facing this vandalism day before yesterday, I told you earlier that I have been facing multiple cases. The police officials have not only threatened the building owner in which I am running this office, they have threatened my house owner after the incident, hooliganism in my house. Now I am without office, without home, and I am not able to conduct my journalism or run an office. And no building owner is ready to hire a building to let out a building for me, fearing either the police action or hooliganism. So as of now, I am not able to proceed with the journalism what I have been doing now. So it will take some time for me to continue my journalistic work, Mr. Iqbal.
So you have taken a break sort of after this incident happened to to take some time to recover and then perhaps go back into your active reporting?
No, Mr. Iqbal, this is a forced break. I don't
Yeah.
want to take a break. I want to continue my journalism without any break. But due to the reason that both my office accommodation and my house accommodation have been denied to me due to the pressure of police and the ruling party men, I am forced to take a break. And when I get an accommodation for running my office, I may start my journalism again, Mr. Iqbal.
And if I can ask my producer to once again show those instances on the screen, there have been many instances where uh, people have been targeted. This arrested for sharing cartoons of Modi under BJP government. This was for posting objectionable cartoon. And then there was this Asim Trivedi, who is fighting a case for the last 12 years. He's going to those court hearings. He's arrested on sedition charges under UPA government. And then this actress arrested for a Facebook post on Sharad Pawar. So there have been such instances. Uh, what does this say about the press freedom, in particularly if we talk about Tamil Nadu?
Mr. Iqbal, the DMK government, which is opposing the Bharatiya Janata Party in their politics, they are doing the same thing of muzzling the press, muzzling the freedom of voice, and crippling the press here in the state. For that matter, not only the BJP or the DMK, almost all the governments do this, as we have seen in multiple instances. The Congress, which is opposing the BJP's stifling of press and freedom of expression, is doing the same thing in Telangana. If you have noted, the Telangana Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, has directed the arrest of one journalist, is what I am told. So most of the governments, when power comes to them,
Yeah.
don't like any sort of criticism, and they muzzle down the press. So we can't differentiate this government or this government in muzzling the freedom of expression. And the Tamil Nadu government is one of the worst governments in muzzling the voice of the press, Mr. Iqbal.
And what steps will you take next now? All of this has happened. You have blamed the police. You say that you don't have an accommodation. You are you're forced to take a break from journalism. What are the steps that you will take next? The legal action, the security measures, or for further public discourses?
Mr. Iqbal, my only course of action would be to approach the court, and I plan to approach the Honorable Court to get the investigation transferred to an agency, which is either the CBI or a court-monitored investigation. So the perpetrators should be brought to book. You see, Mr. Iqbal, after this vandalism took place, the perpetrators are roaming free. The main accused are not arrested, and the few people, the henchmen who were arrested, also have been let out on bail. A sense of fear is pervading among the public and also in Tamil Nadu. So I have to move the court to get this investigation transferred to some other place, find an accommodation for my office, and only then I have to proceed. And I trust the courts will intervene in this thing, because this is the attack which has happened to me should not even happen to our worst enemy. It's a very inhuman and barbaric attack that has happened, and most of the political parties except the ruling DMK have unanimously condemned this attack, thankfully. And I hope the courts
Yes.
will interfere and do justice, Mr. Iqbal.
Yeah, there are some tweets also we have of Karti, Chidambaram, of others, in fact, reacting to what exactly happened. But this comes just days after, stand-up comedian Kunal Kamra made that joke about the deputy chief minister in Maharashtra. That's in a totally different context, but that also comes under the ambit of freedom of expression, and you as a journalist also reporting and doing your job. So do you think there is overall sense of pressure for people who are trying to uh, either use comedy for politicians, or in your case do investigative reporting, do those stories which expose certain issues, and then you're at the receiving end? How much of a support do you get after all of this happened? We saw this brazenly going into your house, harassing your mother, making a video call, protesting there. Clearly, they had no intention to go away. This was clearly to send across a strong message to you. What sort of a support have you gathered after all of this?
Thankfully, there is overwhelming support from the public in the social media and from the opposition parties. They have all unanimously condemned this dastardly attack in my house and the threats issued to my mom. And friends are trying to help, and advocates are also trying to help, and by filing cases and other things. As you mentioned, the
Yeah.
attack on the hall in which Mr. Kunal Kamra conducted his show also shows the atmosphere prevailing across the country, because even the politicians are not able to digest or tolerate satire show means how thin skinned we are developing. And the fact that such hooliganism is happening across the country for against journalists, comedians and other things shows that the freedom of expression speech guaranteed under the guaranteed under the constitution is slowly being eroded, and there is a serious threat to the freedom of expression of not only of comedians and journalists, but for everyone. When well-known journalists and comedians are forced to face such fear, the fury of the mob means just imagine the plight of a common man, and who will dare to speak against the people in power. So it is a very sad situation, and I hope the courts interfere and restore the rights and a sense of normalcy among the country.
Stay safe, Savukku Shankar. It's a very troubling situation when you see that video of all these people brazenly going about and attacking. They have a right to make their point, but in a peaceful manner. This is not the way to intimidate a journalist and to force the journalist to stop journalism, even though temporarily. But this clearly very serious that everybody should look into, and the system should get into action to protect journalists and all those who are engaged in free speech and who believe in free speech. Thanks so much, Savukku Shankar, for joining us and for speaking to us. And thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo Story.
Thank you, Mr. Iqbal.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.